Welcome inside our Los Angeles studios. Chiney Ogwumike, Kendrick, Perkins, Austin Rivers. I'm Malika Andrews. This is the NBA Today on YouTube. This is the extra bits, the behind-the-scenes bits, the stuff that we did not get to in our hour on ESPN. Okay. And something that I want to get into a little bit more as the trade deadline creeps closer and closer is, have you all seen the standings at the top of the East right now?
Let me check again.
The Celtics, they have a little cushion, but then right now the Cavaliers are in second. Mm-hmm. The Bucks and the Knicks have the same record in that third position, Bucks, then the Knicks, and then we have the 76ers, and we can keep on going. The Milwaukee Bucks, down the stretch of that game against the Phoenix Suns, Perk, there were some glaring issues, even though Dame Lillard and Brook Lopez weren't playing in that one. What are you diagnosing? What do they need to do here? They're limited in terms of their assets.
They are, but they need to make a big-time trade. And when I say a big-time, get a big-time role player, like a Bruce Brown. And maybe you have to give up a Bobby Portis and some additional pieces.
You'd have to give up Bobby Portis and Pat Connaughton.
Oh, okay, if you do, then so what? Because now, guess what? You can actually play the way that Doc probably wants to play in that small ball when you get back to Giannis playing the 5, right? And I don't want to take anything away from Brook Lopez, but part of the reason that they have been struggling defensively is because you can't, like, take him out of that drop coverage. Yeah. That's what he's been playing. And so now guys are attacking him. Guys are too talented coming downhill, and he's getting older. So if you move Giannis to the 5, you can switch everything. You could bring in a Bruce Brown at the 4 position, even though it's a positionless game. But I could see the Milwaukee Bucks, like, trying to make a move to get a player to that nature because they have to, you know, step it up a little bit on the defensive side of things at the wing position. Not unless you're ready. You ready to go?
I damn sure am.
For real, they could use your talents right now.
Give Austin his single here.
Best thing I can
I'm saying.
No, they do need perimeter defense, right? We watched it last night. Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, they really were just picking on a lot of the Milwaukee defenders. And I know they didn't have Damian Lillard, but Damian Lillard is also an offensive player. He's an offensive asset. That's what they brought him in to do, close games. Jrue Holiday has never been more missed. I mean, this was a guy who really covered up a lot of different mistakes for them defensively. He's one of the best defensive perimeter guys in the league, and this is a perimeter league. I know we have Jokic, we have Embiid. Well, Embiid's down, but when they go through the East, they're going to have to beat guys like Jalen Brunson. They're going to have to go against top-tier guards, man. They're going to need guys who can keep the ball in front. So that's got to be a priority there. I know there's Bruce Brown and other guys on the market. We'll see what happens. So
is it going to be weird if I talk about a team that people aren't talking about? Because I know the Bucks are like the headliner. They need help to compete. They made this big swing for Dame Lillard, and now it's not really working.
I want to know who.
The Atlanta Hawks.
Okay.
Oh.
The Atlanta Hawks. Look, the worst place to be in the NBA is no man's land. Good news, Trae Young, right, into the All-Star game.
Yep.
Right? Awesome.
Your replacement.
And I think there just is not something that is working in the way that you thought that at this point in his career things should be building.
Yeah.
DeJounte Murray in conversations, right? His value. If I'm someone in Austin, you can speak this. I would love to play with that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Just how he competes, how he scores, how he defends. Trae is a talent. DeJounte is a talent. You would think that over the last few, you know, like how they say a year away from being a year away.
Yeah.
Like we've been saying this about this squad for a little bit of some time. If they made a move, I'm not sure if it's this Lakers pairing, but I just feel like there has to be some kind of greater reset for both of these guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't seem like it's fitting at the way it should for them to be contenders for the next few years.
And the Hawks are in a little bit of a danger zone, right? Because we talked about the Bulls, a little bit of fool's gold that they strike without Zach LaVine winning a couple of games. Lately, the Hawks, they have beaten the Warriors, they've beaten the Suns, they beat the Lakers, and then they beat the Raptors. So they rattled off 4 of those wins in a row. Obviously, then they lost to the Clippers, but only by 5, and that's one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NBA right now. Yep. So when you are then looking at the Hawks front office, they might be tempted. Okay, we paid a lot for DeJounte Murray. We want to get a lot in return, and we've heard Woj say that there are way more buyers right now than sellers out there, so potentially they want to hold on. Do you think that that would be a mistake, Perk?
Well, I think I do see this, right? I see the Quinn Snyder effect is like they're finally starting to embrace that in the locker room, right? You see guys are playing their roles now. So, I mean, they're in a sticky situation, but they have been playing some great basketball. Like, the young fellas have been coming in, providing great minutes. I love what Sadiq Bey, he's been doing on the perimeter for them. They have shooting, they have playmaking, they have athletic bigs that could go for lobs like, you know, 1, 2, 3. So, I mean, it's all about them sacrificing. So, I think what we saw over that stretch where they were winning those those like powerful games, we saw them starting to buy into the Quinn Snyder effect.
But remember when Quinn took over, they gave him some time to evaluate.
And wear
now
those red glasses.
I love that. Right? I'm going to do those with my glasses.
There you go.
But now the time has come. And I feel like the pressure is a little bit on because should we throw some shade around? Didn't Zach have the Hawks as a team this year in the East?
Yeah, Zach Lowe.
Yeah.
From the wildly successful Low Post podcast.
Yes. And sorry, Zach, to bring it back up, but at some point you're looking at how do you take the next step. He's evaluated for a long time.
Yep.
I think that it's going to be interesting to see what they hold on to.
Here's the thing about the trade deadline now, though, and the Hawks are sort of in this situation. The play-in tournament, the fact that that exists now, that a 10 seed can get in, that makes teams
the Miami effect.
Exactly. That makes teams far less likely when they look and they think that they have a chance to sneak into the playoffs now that there is this play-in. Not to mention, when now teams are looking at this new second apron, all of these other things. The effect of the play-in tournament makes teams more likely to want to hold on to their players and if we have just a chance, then we can make a push.
I don't ever think that Adam Silver thought that the Miami Heat would go from that run of the play-in all the way into the finals. To me, that was remarkable. I don't know if there is another team. The Lakers flirted with it a little bit
I'm sure they
last
didn't
year.
want it. For the NBA business, Celtics versus Lakers would have been.
But now
that's their Celtics, even Denver. That's what you want, right? You want the Lakers to win that series, and everybody wanted Boston to win the series, and everybody wanted.
But the Lakers, we've seen them get into the playoffs through the play-in too, so it's helped in that situation.
100%.
But it now gives hope to those teams to stick it through. And with the trade deadline looming, Atlanta's one of those teams that I'm like,
Yeah, that's one of the factors. Woj has mentioned this on his Woj pod, that another factor is the 2024 draft. It's not necessarily regarded as the strongest draft. So in the future, 2025, 2026, those picks are a little bit more valuable. Teams are wanting to hold on to this because this isn't necessarily a draft that general managers have their eye on. It's kind of this confluence of factors that's making a whole lot of teams say, you know what? We're going to stand pat.
I still think.
Austin.
I was going to say, I still think.
We're not trying to kick you off our set, by the way.
My phone's on loud,
Right now, during the show?
No, I
Keep it
won't.
on. Yeah. That's going to do it for
How
us.
crazy that'd be if I got a
NBA
call
Today on
while
YouTube. That would be amazing. Almost as iconic as walking across
in the middle of the second.
That's going to do it for us. We will see you on the NBA Today trade deadline special.
We got to go, Malika. The boys are boys.
We'll see you then.
Jesus.
You always end just like